Men with power obey neither policy nor principle. No one is different. No one is neutral.
There was a time above, a time before.
Okay, first, the visuals that Zack Snyder displays in this movie are great. But on the other hand, we don't need to see Bruce's parents get killed. Again. Man, this whole scene with the movie showing Bruce's perspective during the Battle of Metropolis is iconic. From Ben Affleck's acting to the emotion of the entire scene. Also, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. Killing off Jimmy Olsen in the first 15 minutes of a Superman movie. I don't know what's more disappointing about this scene. Superman arriving late to save nobody but Lois? Or him not feeling any type of remorse for the people that died due to the movie making it seem like he only cares about Lois's life. I mean, Superman would feel some type of guilt about not saving these people and just wouldn't say,
I don't care. I don't care what they're saying.
But on the bright side, Henry Cavill is Superman. What a great introduction to Batman in this movie. Also, Ben Affleck is Batman.
What does a rock have to do with Homeland Security?
No, ma'am. Planetary security.
Look, I get what Zack Snyder was trying to do with this casting, and Jesse Eisenberg isn't a bad actor, but this Lex also doesn't fit with the world Zack Snyder is trying to create for Superman and Batman. Zack has put Superman in the real world, but his Lex is still cartoonish. I mean, is he really only giving him this wish list because he's rich? I mean, it's not like he seems stable. A Lex Luthor with more of a personality from the one from the Superman the Animated Series would have been better for this movie, especially if they were making this movie in the real world, not a Lex that acts like the Riddler and Joker had a kid.
Well, there's a new kind of mean in him. He is angry and he's hunting.
This scene would have actually made sense if the movie didn't hint that Lex was behind this, so Clark could find out more about how mean Batman was. But even if Lex wasn't behind it, and his men was just there to check on the lady they paid, this old guy not only has no real reason to be telling Clark this right now, but the movie also never goes into why Batman is so mean and angry. And you would have think they would have done more than hint at that in a 3-hour movie.
Benefit for the Library of Metropolis. Someone on the committee requested that Clark Kent cover it.
Lex is the one that invites him, but this movie never explained how Lex knows Clark and Bruce's secret identity. And I don't want to hear the whole this Lex is the smartest person in the room bullshit either. Because Lex Luthor is not smarter than Batman. And this would also mean that Lex is a better detective than Batman, since Batman never bothers to try to find out where Superman hangs his cape at night. You know, like Batman would've.
Touché.
So this movie makes Lex so smart that it actually makes Batman look stupid, which he is not.
Have a bad history with freaks dressed like clowns.
This whole conversation exchange.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it. I love bringing people together.
And then Lex ruins it.
And every religion believes in some sort of messianic figure.
This is a nice montage with the movie talking about Superman as a savior. Also, I think it's time to look at the music and the score of the movie. The music and the score is one of the highlights of the movie. Hans Zimmer continues the authentic sound design he made in Man of Steel, while also adding in a Batman score that goes well in the movie. The music and the score moves in harmony with the story, making the scenes in the movie better. So with that, the movie earns a 5 out of 5 for music and score. Wait, So Batman is actively branding people, and the repercussions for the branding is the criminal being killed in jail? You know what's the worst part about Batman killing in this movie? It's not just the fact that Batman doesn't kill. It's the fact that the Joker is still breathing fucking air when he's out here killing regular ass goons like it's nothing.
You'll take care of it. Good.
Wait, now you're telling me that Lex is responsible for killing every inmate who came in with the Bat brand in order to make Batman more dangerous to Clark? For the love of...
You don't know me, but I've known a few women like you.
Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me.
This whole conversation exchange. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the part of the movie where Lex will send pictures to Clark to further get him to go against Batman. As if not one, he's a reporter who can, find out about this on his own, and two, a Boy Scout who would already have a problem with Batman.
I won't have vigilantism in my town.
If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
This whole conversation exchange. Why chase the truck with the Batmobile when you already shot it with a tracker? This chase scene makes no sense.
The Bat is dead. Bury it.
This first confrontation between Superman and Batman isn't bad. I just wish this movie cared more about secret identities, and Superman would have at least acknowledged that Batman was Bruce Wayne here. Also, I think it's time to look at the actors and the acting and the dialogue. Even though this movie doesn't give all these characters their due justice, most of the actors that portray the characters are still good. Henry Cavill is still good as Superman, and even grows a little as Clark Kent in the movie. But the movie still manages to make Superman a background character in his own movie, and the movie still manages to miss the mark when it comes to portraying Superman as a character. On the other side, though, Ben Affleck does his best as Bruce Wayne Batman. But just like Superman, this movie misses the mark when it comes to portraying Batman properly as a character. Not only does Batman kill and brand people, but to add insult to injury, the movie never directly addresses the issue, which is a problem. I also already mentioned Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, Gal Gadot ends up being a nice inclusion as Diana. And the other supporting characters aren't bad as well. But overall, even with the good actors, the characters in the movie end up being average. So with that, the movie earns a 3 out of 5 for actors in the acting and dialogue.
Give her a script, Lauren. Her parents are alive back home.
So she knows the lady lied, but is still going on with the hearing? Okay, it's time to look at the editing in the movie. The Ultimate Edition does fix a lot of the problems that plague the theatrical cut, but in the end, the movie is still too long to leave questions unanswered or leave good scenes unseen. Like, we couldn't see Batman breaking into LexCorp for the kryptonite, but we needed a chase scene that didn't make sense with the Batmobile. The movie does do a good job conveying a consistent tone throughout the movie though, while the visual effects blend seamlessly. The effects throughout the movie enhance the visuals instead of taking the audience out of the experience, and it ends up being good in the movie. So with that, the movie earns a 5 out of 5 for editing.
And now God bends to my will.
Wow, imagine how good this scene would have possibly been if Lex's character was done right.
There's no time!
I understand.
How the hell is pushing him across the street supposed to convince him to help save your mom?
You're letting him kill Martha.
Yeah, even if I wanted to believe Superman would say this, why the hell didn't he say this before pushing him across the street earlier? Also, I think it's time to look at the plot and the story. The plot in the story ends up being overly convoluted, as the movie makes Lex the smartest man alive. The movie has a great premise with Batman starting a conflict with Superman because of the Battle of Metropolis. But the movie fails to deliver on it thanks to the plot in the story being over convoluted when it really didn't need to be. I mean, Lex didn't need to give a Boy Scout like Superman extra motivation to want to confront Batman, and Lex didn't need to give Batman extra motivation because of the Battle of Metropolis. Plus, Lex wouldn't trust in Batman to kill Superman. I mean, if anything, he thinks he's just a mortal in a costume.
What makes you think you can kill Superman when you can't even handle a mere mortal in a Halloween costume?
So overall, it ends up being disappointing. So with that, the movie earns a 1 out of 5 for plot and story. Yes, Batman does kill a couple of guys here, but this warehouse scene is still great. Also, I think it's time to look at the directing and cinematography in the movie. The directing and cinematography ends up being a highlight of the movie as Zack Snyder delivers visual-wise. The cinematography is great also as the movie does well utilizing creative camera work that helps tell the story within a consistent visual language that viewers can easily follow. So with that, the movie earns a 5 out of 5 for directing and cinematography.
Your doomsday.
I get this movie wants Superman to die, but this final battle would have worked better with Metallo. I mean, at least Batman would have been given more to do during the fight. Also, I think it's time to look at the genre of the movie, which is the action. The action in the movie delivers as it's entertaining, and doesn't seem to lack it in a 3-hour movie, even though all of it probably isn't needed. So with that, the movie earns a 5 out of 5 for action. Waiting until the end to do this. Okay, so now that we have all the numbers in each category, it's time to find out the average. So in the end, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice ends up with a 4.0 out of 5, and that gives it a B rating.
And now God bends to my will.